Hey guys, I got about 20 minutes here before I have to take another client this evening, but I wanted to hop on here real quick, um, and just try to give some words of understanding right now. And perhaps maybe I'll get to the point in this video that I give a little encouragement along the way in my understanding. Um, and tonight I really wanted to talk about the narcissistic family dynamic. Um, Boy, oh boy. Well, I'm going to say it to all of you like this. I hear you. I see you. And I mean, I have a lot of you for clients. I have had a lot of you for clients that have the narcissistic family system. And basically, the narcissistic family system is a very evil operation where you typically have the narcissist, you have the enabler, you have the smear campaigns going on, you have the scapegoat in the family. I mean, all of you that have learned about this in the community and how this all works, it's it's quite horrible. And it does a number on people. It is heavy, it is dark, and you can't pick your family, you know? And I know that you guys know that there are people out there who uh love you unconditionally and love you in a way that you've never received love from your very own family. And that's a weird thing to figure out. Um I'm working with people who have been betrayed by their own children. I'm working with children who have been betrayed by their own parents. I'm working with people who have, I mean, and what one of the, I mean, think of all the different dynamics that can occur within a family dynamic of narcissistic abuse. It can get really wild because if you think about it, in order to have one narcissist in the family, and typically that's all it takes, it just takes one to go around and do nothing but wreak havoc and destroy a family completely from the inside out. It takes one. And if you think about it, in order to be a narcissist, in order to be one, there has to be an enabler at the end of the narcissism. There has to be somebody allowing it. That's how narcissism spreads. That's how narcissism is able to continue in a family. So you got the one enabler, and as we talk about biblically, that's the Jezebel is the narcissist, and the Ahab spirit is the enabler. And that dynamic, those two in the family will teach everybody else how it's done. And this is how it's got to be. You placate the narcissist and the narcissism that the narcissist wants to give out. You placate it, you protect it, you walk on eggshells around it, and then that dynamic, they're teaching the whole family, this is what you do. And typically in these family dynamics, there's always one who is the one that grows up, gets the education on this, and is like, I'm not tolerating this. I will not stand for this. I will not be involved in any of this. And that's the one. That's the one. Oh, that's the one that's going to create, you know, that's the one that is going to get it. But it's okay because in the end, you see, it doesn't matter. The most important thing that I want to say tonight for many of you dealing with this. And there's a lot more I can say, but I'm going to say this much for all of you that are suffering through this. Be happy that you understand what it is that happened to you as a child and what it is that most likely is still happening in your family. Because these narcissists do not grow up. It gets worse as they get older, actually. Their narcissism grows like a a dark black hole. It just gets more and more jet black and deep. Okay? And so if they were acting this way when you were younger, they're acting this way now. If you figured out that your child is a narcissist, and it's been some time, nothing has changed there. Nothing has changed. They're still that way, and it's getting worse. They've, it always they can't sit still with their evil, conniving, manipulative ways. So you might have, it always goes like this. They pull a stunt, and then you might have as much as maybe 3 months worth that it's quiet. But rest assured, they're going to pull another stunt, and it's going to be worse than the last stunt, and it's going to continue on like this. And the only one that's ever going to get off that ride is you, because they'll never get off the ride. As long as people are placating their narcissism, hear me clearly. As long as people are placating it, they're good. They don't need you. They've got people protecting them, flying monkeys, placating their BS day in and day out. They're good. You want to go away and go no contact? Well, they don't care. They just are going to make sure that when you do go away, it's much easier for them now to talk trash about you because you're not present anymore. Much easier to start that smear campaign. They don't have to look you in the eye anymore. They can make up whatever stories they want when you're out of the picture. Better for them. You're not giving them any trouble. You see? I don't think I know that that kind of abuse in a family, it runs deep, and the hurt runs deep. And the way you have to navigate is much more difficult than it would be to, let's say, navigate an intimate relationship with a partner, because this is your family. And they will never acknowledge the hurt and pain and suffering that you have gone on, that has gone on for you in the hands of these narcissists. I know of people that their child married a narcissist, and it's the, son-in-law or daughter-in-law, and that person has done a number on their son or daughter and gotten them to successfully walk away from their family and become that Ahab spirit that I was talking about earlier, and change their son or daughter completely. And I think, and I know of other situations where it's the child that has to deal with the mother and father that are doing this. And let me tell you something. The Ahab spirit in both scenarios, that one that enables, lets it all go on, puts a blind eye up to what's happening, shuffles it around. Oh, no, she didn't mean it. Mom didn't mean it type thing. Or, your daughter-in-law didn't mean that. She didn't mean it. She was just having a bad day. That person that I'm describing in the family unit is just as rotten at this point as the narcissist, because anybody that can see pure evil going on in front of them and look away, I think it's actually worse. I just said it. I think that's actually worse. And like my client reminded me last night, she said to me, and I get it. I get it. She said, "Who do I have to talk to about this? Who would understand this?" Yeah. And it's such a deep, dark burden that you carry every single day. And you're absolutely right. I had a client today tell me something horrific that her therapist said to her, a therapist she had for years. Something so horrific that this therapist should be called out on the carpet. She should have been in trouble for what she said to her. Something about I'm not going to get it right, but it was something like you're like you look like a nice cookie, but when you bite down into it, something like there's nothing there, or it doesn't taste right. Something really obscene. So it's like, who do you trust? And where do you go to get help for things like this? Do you know that there are therapists out there that will tell you to go make amends with your parents or your children who are blatantly disrespecting and abusing you? That's what they'll tell you. Oh, that you got to respect them. You got to go make amends. So anyway, I wanted you guys to know that I hear you. I see you. I feel your pain and suffering. And for many of you, you are quietly going around carrying this, and nobody knows. Nobody knows how much it has scarred you and broken down your spirit. And you got to get up every day and you got to pretend almost like none of it ever happened. Like those words they said to you never were said. And the things they continue to do just aren't going on. And it's harmful stuff. And for some of you, you're in a position as to you're even in even worse positions that you have to make decisions as to what you're going to do with the information you have about your own family. I know that this stuff runs deep. So thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts on this. Thank you for entrusting in me to guide you through something like this and help you as much as I know what you could do. There's no easy guidebook to dealing with narcissistic family members. Um, and the resources out there again are we're just getting started on this narcissism education. We're just getting started. Um, but on a positive note, I want to say this. There are people out there that absolutely see you, appreciate you, love you, cherish you, want what's best for you, will be there for you, will listen to you. Um, and I get it. It's such a heavy burden that you don't even want to burden anybody with it. You don't even want to talk about any of it. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating to you. It's like I said, the only word I can think to describe it is it's heavy and it's dark. And who wants to, who do you want to burden with this stuff? I get it. So I want you to know, any of you that come to me for coaching and for somebody to listen, I am listening to you and I'm hearing you and I am understanding what is happening here wholeheartedly. And I am happy that we have this community. I'm happy that we all have one another. And I'm happy that we all see one another and recognize each other's pain and suffering. And we need to find more ways that we can eliminate that and help each other, because that's the only thing left that God has asked us to do, is to love each other and help one another. And sometimes loving these people is walking away from them, because it's they're only killing you day in and day out. And that's the only answer, is that you have to get away from people like this. Um, or start getting yourself a plan together to getting away from them for good. They've destroyed enough of your days, and you don't deserve to go through any more of it. That's my message for this evening. I hope it reaches you and it puts you in a spot that you can see hope at the end of the tunnel for yourself, because you should. Don't let anyone make you feel hopeless. And if they are making you feel hopeless about yourself and about life, and because of their misery and their unwarranted narcissism, then it's time that they don't deserve you anymore in their life. It's time. I'm Trace Face, and it's time we all face the truth together.